Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau faces rising pressure tonight, pressure to strike a new trade deal with the United States before the October 1st deadline that the president has set. Canada's foreign minister resuming trade talks today with Robert Lighthizer. The United States has threatened to exclude Canada from a possible trilateral trade deal, one that now includes Mexico and the United States. Joining us tonight is Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross, leading much of the effort in implementing the president's trade policies and all others, commerce and financial as well. Great to see you, Mr. Secretary. Good to have you with us. Congratulations on the deal with Mexico. Congratulations to this point on implementing the tariffs, the next round, some tariffs, 10% tariffs on some $200 billion of Chinese exports to this country go into effect. And it appears that people are beginning to get at least the message in the U.S. national left-wing media. So congratulations on that. They seem to be awakening.
Well, I hope so. They've been quite somnolent on that issue for quite a little while. But that's because they're too busy with fake news.
Well, somnolent, they're going to be scrambling to their dictionaries to find it. It'll be real near slumber, I think. They'll be able to figure that out. It's really impressive. And as the president has pointed out, the Chinese market has dropped. It is well beyond a correction. It's approaching just about 20% decline. The Chinese are acknowledging for the first time that they have significant problems. They are maintaining, of course, as they would, that they can manage these problems, but they can't manage them if they don't move toward a balanced trade relationship with this country.
Well, I think that's absolutely true. And it's also absolutely true they're pretty well running out of bullets to fire in this trade conflict. And the reason for that is that we export so much less to them than they do to us, that there are many, many more items, hundreds of billions more that we could tariff than that they could tariff. That's a tough position for them to be in.
And it's a terrific position for the United States, conversely, right. Because the U.S. economy, from the moment the president was elected, this economy has turned. It is a business-friendly Washington, D.C., instead of an anti-business atmosphere as it was under his predecessor. We are watching markets move higher, the Dow Jones Industrials. You know what I get a kick out of, Mr. Secretary? I don't know if you do. But watching the national left-wing media try to talk about the market, if it has an off day with the Dow sitting at 26,000 records for the NASDAQ, the S&P at hand, talk about their trade tensions, their jitters in the market. Meanwhile, it's been a march from January straight ahead to the levels that we are now. It's kind of fun to watch them have to eat crow.
Well, it is. These are the same people who said the economy could never grow more than about 2% a year. And I think if they had been elected, they would have been right. It would not have been able to grow at more than 2. But their great fear is that the American public is also catching on to the fact that the cuts in the taxes and the cuts in regulation are really what's driving this economy. And they can't stand that because that's the total opposite of what they forecast would happen.
I want to just turn very quickly to something that Larry Kudlow, the president's chief economic advisor, I suppose he could be styled, talking about cutting entitlements as a way to attack deficits. And that left a lot of people shocked because the president has said the opposite and campaigned on the opposite. Is this Larry being Larry, or is there a change of view somehow in the economic team?
There is no change of view. The president, unlike many politicians, remembers his promises from the campaign, keeps track of them, and lives up to them. And this one especially, he is simply not going to violate. My guess is that if indeed Larry said something like that, he probably had in mind getting rid of the last fading remnants of Obamacare. That is something we're going to deal with. It's just about gone anyway. But as to things like Social Security and all that, forget it. There is no chance that the president will cut them.
Wilbur Ross, Secretary of Commerce, thanks for being with us, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Lou. Good to be on.